Hey, bless up, y'all. This is your Captain King Kevin reporting live, and it's just a very interesting time that we're in, especially what's going on in West Africa, in the United States, and their relations to the motherland. Now, we are not twins of our ancestors. We may have our ancestors' DNA and genes, and fighting spirit and intelligence, but we are not the identical twins of our ancestors. I'm not going to say we are not our ancestors, because we are. So we could very much be 1,000, 2,000 years old, each and every one of us. The point I'm trying to make is the recent events that's been going on in Burkina Faso, Nigeria, and Mali, particularly in Burkina Faso with General Captain Ibrahim Traore, has been very, very exciting. We are in a very exciting time, and I need you guys to be very attentive to what's going on, because at some point in time, this is going to impact your front door, right into your home, because of many of the resources and the pillaging that the U.S. and France has been doing for centuries in these countries with a gunboat diplomacy. Isn't working anymore. It's still working in Haiti because the United States pretty much own Haiti. If many of you guys don't know, the U.S. changed the Haitian Constitution back in 1915, immediately after they invaded the country. And with the gunboat diplomacy that France and the U.S. constantly do to smaller countries like Haiti and other countries in Africa, they threaten them with attacks from boats and airplanes if they don't, accept their terms, accept the French or American terms of how things are going to move forward with their economy. Now, which brings me to an interesting point, because Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, has told, and not just him, the general of Nigeria, Mr. Tiny, and the general of Mali, they all joined together to form a coalition called Sahel. And what they're doing is, with this coalition, they have been able to defend each other and fight off the terrorists, the jihad, the terrorist groups and individuals that all they want is money and think about themselves. This is great for white supremacy, because all they got to do is pay these guys off, and they don't cause the disruption, destabilize the country, destabilize the economy, the government, and do what they please. And which makes it very convenient for the U.S., French, and the other Western governments to just go in and pillage and, go to these countries with the mask of the Red Cross, that they're going to help them, when they actually were straight pillaging them. So those days are over with. As a matter of fact, President Trump was sent Ibrahim Traore, who was only 37, 38 years old, very young, been president about 3 years, already increased the GDP of the country by $4 billion, from 18 billion to $22 billion. Come on, man, that's nothing short of impressive. They're building electric cars. They're controlling their own mines. Instead of sending the gold to France, which they had to pay to have it exported to France, and France bring it back, charging them to import their own gold. So French, who's always been double dipping, pillaging. They have about 14 countries, well, really 11 now, minus the Sahel coalition of Mali, Nigeria, Burkina Faso. They were before 2022, which is when these three countries took over and kicked out the boot-licking, coon-dancing leaders. These countries were paying nearly $300-400 billion total. 14 countries paying that kind of money every year to France, which makes absolutely no sense, which guaranteed the poverty of their countries. Now, the media, being as brilliant as they are, understanding mass media and production and just controlling the masses, whenever they discuss Ibrahim Traore or discuss Mali, discuss Nigeria, and several other countries, they address particularly Mr. Ibrahim Traore, who is a modern day hero. I'm going to get back to that in a little bit. But what they are doing is they're calling him a junta leader. Junta means, leader means he's someone who took over power by force, which is exactly what he did. He had to do it. This man was selling the soul. The previous president was selling the soul of his citizens, making them starve to death, eating hands to mouth every day, not knowing they're going to have 2 meals a day, if not just one. Illiteracy rates are, through the roof. That's crazy. And that is exactly how you dehumanize people. You dehumanize them by forcing them to only think about survival, not caring about their brothers and sisters or the elderly or the community or the women of the community. They force the men to really live off their primal instincts, their lowest level of consciousness. And this is exactly what white supremacy needs and wants, because then they could be like, hey, look at those Negroes, look at those ninjas, look how savage they are, look how dirty they are, look how vicious they are, when this is nothing but the scheme and the games and the plans they've been playing on us since the beginning of time. But now there's a global awakening, there's a global calling, global wake-up call for everybody to get on board. Hands off Ibrahim Traore, because he, even though he's getting all the popularity and majority of the press, don't slip on those other 2 countries, Mali and Niger. They on the same boat, the same wavelength. So these 3 countries, and there's going to be many, many more joining along. Now, you still got the coon countries out there. You got Côte d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast. As a matter of fact, Côte d'Ivoire is harboring these terrorists in their countries. And guess who is giving them a pat on the back and supporting them? The United States government through AFRICOM, who they use a black face, General Michael Langley, who's only the 2nd black major or commander of the AFRICOM, who's supposed to, AFRICOM is just an organization started back in 2007 under George Bush Jr. to, form relationships with the African countries and really to set up military bases. And all those military bases, many of them been kicked out in West Africa, particularly in Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. Now, which is great news here. Not only did they kick them out, they stopped them from everything else they were doing as far as the gold mines, the oil mines, and et cetera, et cetera. Good morning, beautiful. You ready to join Daddy? No, that's my baby girl. Now, with all that being said, I want you guys to pay special attention on how they're gonna, continue to beat up Mr. Traore, Captain Traore, in the media. They're gonna say he's evil. They're gonna say he's a terrorist, and they've been saying, as a matter of fact, there's been 20 confirmed assassination attempts in Africa. In Africa. There's been 20 confirmed, and actually some people I've been reading, they're saying there were 22 assassination attempts. The last attempt was $5 million on the head, and one before that was $41 million on his head. And to be honest, the billions of dollars they're losing because of Burkina Faso, which means the land of the right-hand man. The $41 million that they have put on his head, there's absolutely no doubt they'd be willing to put up $400 million. That's why there was a massive protest April 30th just last week. You know what I'm saying? There's been massive protests throughout London, couple of cities in America, and honestly, I wish there was more organizations teaming up to do this, especially my Haitian brothers and sisters, because I'm Haitian myself, and I didn't hear any noise from the Haitian community. Sporadic things online. But far as community-wise, Jamaica, Montego Bay, they were protesting. You had protesters going on in New York. What we need to do is hop on his wavelength. We need to hop on his wavelength so we can protect one of the greatest leaders of world history. That's for your ears.
Yes.
Say Africa. Say Africa. Say Africa. 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 Listen. Now, France was getting 68% of their natural, not just natural resources, but they were of their, what was that again? 68% of their nuclear sources. Yes, I got it. 68% of their, to keep their electricity going. 68%. That is no longer going on, because they're getting that from Nigeria. Now, Burkina Faso was also supplying them, and I'm going to give you the exact list of what Burkina Faso was supplying them. France was receiving primarily vegetable oils, cotton, soybeans, as well as other commodities like gold, zinc, copper, and manganese, phosphate, and limestone. Now, the fact that they're no longer getting that, and Burkina Faso and several other countries are backing out of the CFA franc, which is the currency that the French uses. This is great news for us, because they can no longer bully, they can no longer control the destiny of these African countries. Now, the 14 African countries I spoke about earlier, here they are, that were paying France that colonial tax. You have Burkina Faso, you have Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea, Mali, Nigeria, Senegal, Togo, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Chad, the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, and Gabon, and Benin. Isn't that interesting? $400 to $500 billion going into France, and these people are starving, asking France for help, France for loans. The loans be in the billions of dollars, y'all. Hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. But those days are over with. So be mindful of how they're going to tarnish. They're going to use AI. They're going to use all types of media propaganda to destroy his name, Ibrahim Traore's name. They're going to try to, but we hip to it. How many assassinations has there happened, or has to happen for everybody to wake up? But how many times do they have to destabilize the country? They did that. They destabilized Iraq. Look at Libya right now. It is a complete failed state. Straight, the whole country's a war zone. Haiti is on the brink of becoming a complete war zone. Right now, it's only focusing in Port-au-Prince and the surrounding cities. Port-au-Prince being the capital of Haiti, with millions of people in it, where there's only really built to hold about 500,000 people. But you got millions of people in one city. And America likes that, because truth be told, they want the land and the iridium that Haiti produces. At one point in time, 1 ounce of iridium was $6,000. 1 ounce of iridium was $6,000. U.S. gets all of that tax-free and for free, because of the destabilizing of the country. So these war zones, and you seeing the wars going on, follow the money. Look at what's going on behind the scenes, not just what they're showing you on TV, because the media play dirty tricks, like Tupac used to say. Now, me and my baby Abby, we gone.
Yep.
Ready to eat? Africa? Say Africa to the people. I love Africa. I love you, baby. And I do what I do for my children. We need to do what we can do for our people. Not just in Africa, but those of brothers and sisters here in America. Our brothers and sisters in Haiti right now, fight for their lives in the capital of Haiti. Our brothers and sisters, Burkina Faso, Nigeria, wherever. One love, one God, one aim, one destiny. Black power is black love. peace, prosperity. Go to my website, KevinDorival.com. Look out for my book, America's and France's 1,000-Year War Against Haiti. America's and France's 1,000-Year War Against Haiti. Peace.